Imagine a knowledge so potent that it is capable of overturning a person's destiny, granting them power over circumstances, and even altering the very fabric of their reality. A knowledge which, once unveiled, spread throughout the world, inspiring millions, yet at a certain point in history was withdrawn from public access, its editions confiscated as though it posed a threat. This is not fiction but a historical fact. In 1933, precisely such a fate befell Charles Francis Haanel's book, The Master Key System, a work which even then had become a foundational text for industrialists and thinkers, and whose influence is undeniably felt to this day in the works of Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, and even in the worldview of Oprah Winfrey. It is a paradox. A book promising freedom and self-realization itself became an object of censorship, underscoring not so much its danger as its incredible power. Charles Francis Haanel, the man behind this monumental work, was the embodiment of the American dream. Born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1866, he began his journey not as a mystic or philosopher but as a pragmatic businessman. His childhood unfolded during an era of vigorous industrial growth and entrepreneurial opportunities which he fully utilized. Haanel was not merely a theorist, he was a practitioner who built his own empire. He founded and presided over several large companies, among which the Continental Commercial Company stood out, a formidable enterprise engaged in real estate and mining. His success was tangible, measured in millions of dollars and thousands of jobs created under his leadership. This experience of forming material reality from naught, from a mere idea, became the foundation of his philosophy. By 1912, Haanel was already an acknowledged magnate, yet his interests extended far beyond commerce. He was convinced that a certain universal law governed success, prosperity, and personal realization, and that this law was accessible to all. Thus was born the Master Key System, not as a book but as a 24-week correspondence course, offered by mail. Each week, subscribers received a new lesson, a new step toward mastering their inner powers. Among his clientele were not only ordinary individuals seeking a better life, but also prominent industrialists, financiers, and political figures of the era who perceived in Haanel's methods a key to even greater success and influence. They understood that the mental principles elucidated in the course were not merely esoteric teachings, but powerful instruments for achieving concrete, tangible results in business and life. Haanel taught that thought is not merely an abstraction but a living formative power capable of influencing matter, and that mastery of this power constitutes the highest form of accomplishment. In the sixth lesson of his The Master Key System, Charles Haanel elevates the practice of visualization to a qualitatively new level. If previous lessons were dedicated to creating mental images of places, static backdrops amenable to detailed study, he now invites you to advance to the most intricate and simultaneously most potent object for mental construction, the image of a human being. This is not merely the next step, it is a quantum leap in the development of your consciousness. Haanel asserts, the ability to think is the ability to act upon the universal mind. And it is in this lesson that he begins to reveal precisely how this ability manifests through profound, vivid visualization. Why is the image of a human being more challenging to hold than the image of a place? Because a human being is a dynamic entity. They breathe, move, react, their emotions shift, their gaze is alive. To hold a static picture in the mind is one thing. To hold a living, breathing, reacting image of another being is quite another. This demands utmost concentration, complete immersion, and the capacity to generate not merely an image, but an entire mental field of presence. Haanel unequivocally declares, if you can hold the living image of a person, you can hold anything. In this phrase lies the entire essence of the lesson. If your consciousness is capable of creating and sustaining such an intricate, multidimensional, and dynamic mental construct, then any other objective, any other visualization, be it an object, an event, or an abstract concept, will become attainable for you. This is the highest school of mental control, a training that renders your mind a sharp and precise instrument of creation. The notion that mental images possess real power is not merely an esoteric doctrine. Modern science, centuries after the first intuitive insights of mystics and philosophers, is beginning to corroborate these ancient truths with high-precision instruments. Stephen Kosslyn, a distinguished cognitive psychologist from Harvard University, in his seminal book, The Case for Mental Imagery, published in 2006, presented compelling evidence that mental images activate the very same visual areas of the cerebral cortex, from V1 to V4, as actual perception. This signifies that when you vividly imagine something, your brain responds almost as though you were seeing it with your own eyes. The neural networks responsible for processing visual information become aroused, creating an internal reality that for the brain is almost indistinguishable from the external. This is not merely imagination in the commonplace sense. It is a profound neurophysiological event that shapes our internal states and potentially influences our interaction with the external world. Furthermore, delving into the emotional sphere, Antonio Damasio, a world-renowned neuroscientist from the University of Southern California, in his groundbreaking work Descartes' Error, published in 1999, demonstrated something even more astonishing. He showed that an imagined face is capable of eliciting in the amygdala, the brain region responsible for processing emotions, particularly fear and pleasure, the very same emotional response as a real one. This implies that if you imagine a loved one, your brain generates the same feelings of warmth and affection as it would in their physical presence. Conversely, if you visualize something unpleasant, the amygdala activates, inducing stress or anxiety. This mechanism is key to understanding why visualization is so potent. It does not merely create an image, it creates an asterisk emotional state asterisk, which, as we know through the works of scientists such as Joe Dispenza or Bruce Lipton, can influence our physiology, our behavior, and even the expression of our genes. Our brain does not merely think about something, it asterisk experiences asterisk it. The annals of great minds past abound with examples of how the power of visualization shaped their genius. One of the most striking and documented instances is Nikola Tesla. After a severe blow in childhood which left him with acute hyperimagination, Tesla developed a phenomenal capacity for mental construction. He could hold entire machines, complex mechanisms, in his consciousness, rotate them, disassemble them, and reassemble them, foresee how they would wear out after a month or a year of operation. He could conduct experiments in his mind without resorting to blueprints or physical prototypes. It was thanks to this incredible capacity for visualization that he was able to create the alternating current system which powers the entire modern world without a single blueprint on paper in the initial stage of development. For him, the inner world was as real as the outer, and it was in this inner world that his greatest inventions were born. Tesla was living proof that a mind trained in the art of visualization is capable of working wonders. The influence of Charles Haanel and his The Master Key system extended far beyond his immediate students, shaping entire generations of thinkers and practitioners of success. One of the most renowned adherents was Napoleon Hill, whose book Think and Grow Rich became a Bible for millions of entrepreneurs and individuals striving for self-realization. Hill openly acknowledged that he was deeply inspired by Haanel. His celebrated practice of the Invisible Council, wherein he mentally gathered around him great individuals of the past, such as Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, to receive counsel and inspiration from them, is a direct development of Haanel's idea of visualizing people. Hill did not merely imagine their faces, he envisioned their living presence, their wisdom, their reactions, engaging in mental dialogues with them which, according to him, were as real and productive as conversations with living mentors. This was a profound, immersive experience that allowed him to draw from the collective unconscious and his own superconscious. Another titan of motivational literature, Earl Nightingale, was also under the direct influence of Haanel and Hill. His audio recording, The Strangest Secret, released in 1956, became the first spoken word record in history to achieve gold status. Nightingale's central premise was that we become what we think about most of the time. This simple yet profound truth is the cornerstone of Haanel's teaching on the power of thought and visualization. Nightingale taught that if you consistently hold in mind the image of a desired outcome or a desired self, then sooner or later this image will begin to materialize in your life. He urged listeners not merely to dream, but actively and purposefully to shape their inner worlds, understanding that these inner worlds serve as the matrix for external events. In our present era, the influence of the Master Key system continues to manifest in the most unexpected places. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in the world, has openly spoken of how the principles elucidated in Haanel's book aided her in shaping her life and career. Her capacity to visualize her objectives, to hold in mind the image of a desired future, and to work towards its actualization is a direct reflection of the lessons Haanel imparted a century ago. From successful entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley to world-class athletes, many intuitively or consciously employ methods of visualization to attain their goals, shape their reality, and surmount obstacles. Haanel's principles permeate modern culture of success, proving their universality and timeless relevance. Parallels to this practice may be discerned in ancient traditions across the globe, underscoring the universality and profound nature of human consciousness. Consider, for instance, Byzantine iconography. An icon was not merely a painting, it was a window to heaven. The saint was depicted not for photographic accuracy, but according to a strict canon, with specific colors, postures, and symbols, so as to become not merely an image, but a vehicle of presence. The aim was not realistic reproduction, but the creation of a focal point for prayer and meditation, enabling the devotee to enter into communion with the spiritual essence the saint represented. The icon painter, in essence, was a conduit, creating a material object that aided the devotee in visualizing and sensing the spiritual presence, making it vivid within their consciousness. This was a form of profound, purposeful visualization, where the external image served as a catalyst for internal experience. In Tibetan Buddhism, the practice of visualizing dakinis or other deities is central. This is not merely passive contemplation. The practitioner not only imagines the minutest details of the deity's image, its skin color, attire, adornments, gestures, symbolic attributes, but also actively interacts with it, and in more advanced stages endeavors to become that deity, to dissolve into its qualities. This is the deepest form of mental fusion, where the visualized image serves as an instrument for the transformation of one's own consciousness. Through such practice, one not only cultivates concentration, but also interiorizes the qualities one attributes to the deity: wisdom, compassion, strength. This is an active, dynamic creation of an inner reality which then, it is believed, influences the outer. Ignatius of Loyola, founder of the Jesuit order, in his spiritual exercises penned in 1548, developed a technique known as the composition of place. He instructed practitioners to envision a gospel scene with all its particulars, where the event transpires, who is present, what they are doing, what sounds are heard, what scents are perceived. This was a sort of mental theatrical staging, wherein one became a witness or even a participant in a sacred event. Though Loyola focused on places and events, his method is a direct precursor to Haanel's visualization of individuals. For it is impossible to imagine a gospel scene without the living, breathing images of Christ, the apostles, or other characters, without their movements, facial expressions, voices. This was a preparatory stage for rendering the inner world as vivid and tangible as possible. Thus, Haanel's lesson on visualizing people is not entirely new, but it takes these ancient intuitive practices and cloaks them in a pragmatic, systematized form, suitable for achieving specific objectives in the modern world. He invites you not merely to meditate, but actively to create within your consciousness. The practice of the sixth lesson is exceedingly specific. Select a friend, a person whom you know well and for whom you harbor warm sentiments. Sit in the silence and create their mental image. Examine them in detail. Facial features, ocular expression, coiffure, attire, posture, the minutest particulars. Then, when the image becomes sufficiently vivid, begin to converse with them mentally. Observe them smiling, responding to you, their facial expressions altering, their movements unfolding. Cultivate this ability until the image becomes absolutely lifelike, until you sense their veritable presence. This is not merely an exercise for the mind. It is a profound immersion into the latent capabilities of your consciousness, the key to mastery over your own reality. Thus, Haanel's lesson on visualizing people is not entirely new, but it takes these ancient intuitive practices and cloaks them in a pragmatic, systematized form, suitable for achieving specific objectives in the modern world. He invites you not merely to meditate, but actively to create within your consciousness. The practice of the sixth lesson is exceedingly specific. Select a friend, a person whom you know well and for whom you harbor warm sentiments. Sit in the silence and create their mental image. Examine them in detail: facial features, ocular expression, coiffure, attire, posture, the minutest particulars. Then, when the image becomes sufficiently vivid, begin to converse with them mentally. Observe them smiling, responding to you, their facial expressions altering, their movements unfolding. Cultivate this ability until the image becomes absolutely lifelike, until you sense their veritable presence. This is not merely an exercise for the mind, it is a profound immersion into the latent capabilities of your consciousness, the key to mastery over your own reality. It is this mastery over one's own reality, this key to inner creation, that today begins to find its corroboration in the most advanced fields of science. For a long time, mental images were regarded merely as ephemeral shadows of consciousness possessing no true physical weight, but contemporary research in neurobiology, epigenetics, and psychoneuroimmunology paints an entirely different picture. They demonstrate that our inner world, our thoughts, beliefs, visualizations, does not merely reflect external reality, but actively shapes it, altering the structure of our brain, the expression of our genes, and even the state of our immune system. Consider, for example, neuroplasticity, a revolutionary discovery that has overturned centuries-old conceptions of the brain. Until recently, it was believed that the adult human brain was a static, immutable structure whose primary connections were formed in childhood. However, the works of Dr. Norman Doidge, elucidated in his book The Brain That Changes Itself, published in 2007, have shown that the brain possesses an astonishing capacity for self-organization and alteration throughout life. Our thoughts, experiences, learning, and even our mental images literally restructure neural networks, forging new connections and reinforcing existing ones. The brain is not a fixed mechanism, but a dynamic, ever-changing landscape shaped by every mental act we undertake. One of the most striking corroborations of neuroplasticity came from the research of Eleanor Maguire and her colleagues, conducted in 2000 at University College London. They studied the brains of London taxi drivers, individuals who undergo an extraordinarily rigorous training known as the knowledge. This training demands the memorization of an intricate network of 25,000 streets, innumerable landmarks, and the shortest routes within a 6-mile radius of Charing Cross. It typically requires 3 to 4 years of intensive study, encompassing constant mental navigation and visualization of urban spaces. Maguire discovered that in experienced taxi drivers, the posterior hippocampus, the brain region responsible for spatial memory and navigation, was significantly enlarged compared to a control group. Moreover, the longer a taxi driver had worked, the larger their hippocampus proved to be. This was direct, irrefutable proof that intensive mental training involving continuous visualization of spatial images leads to observable physical alterations in brain structure. If mental navigation through the streets of London can alter your brain, imagine what systematic, vivid visualization of people and their interactions, as Haanel describes, can achieve. Your brain reacts to these internal images as though you were experiencing them in reality, forging new neural pathways for future events. Still deeper into the fabric of our biology penetrates epigenetics, the science that investigates how environment and experience influence gene expression, without altering the DNA sequence itself. A pioneer in this field is Dr. Bruce Lipton, author of The Biology of Belief, who asserts that our beliefs and perceptions control our genes. He demonstrated that it is not genes that determine our fate, but how we perceive the world and which thoughts we choose. Cells respond not to genes, but to signals from the environment, including the internal environment shaped by our thoughts and emotions. In 2014, research conducted by Drs. Brian Diaz and Kerry Ressler at Emory University demonstrated a striking instance of epigenetic transmission of experience. Scientists conditioned male mice to fear the scent of cherry blossom, associating it with a mild electric shock. Soon the mice would tremble with fear at the mere scent. Most astonishingly, the progeny of these mice, never having been subjected to the shock nor exposed to the cherry scent, exhibited the same innate apprehension of the aroma, and even their grandchildren evinced a similar reaction. Researchers discovered that epigenetic changes, DNA modifications, had occurred in the mice's sperm, transmitting the information about fear across 2 generations. This experiment revealed that deeply ingrained experience, shaped by sensory perceptions and emotional response, can be biologically transmitted. If fear, induced by a scent can be inherited, imagine the potential of consciously cultivated mental images and positive states of consciousness to influence our biology and perhaps even future generations. The science of psychoneuroimmunology, which investigates the interplay between the psyche, the nervous system, and the immune system, likewise corroborates the profound connection between our inner world and physical health. Dr. Candace Pert, in her groundbreaking book Molecules of Emotion, published in 1997, demonstrated that emotions are not merely abstract sentiments, but biochemical signals circulating throughout the entire body. Neuropeptides, which she termed molecules of emotion, link the brain, endocrine, and immune systems. Every thought, every feeling, every visualization initiates a cascade of biochemical reactions, impacting every cell of our physical form. The studies of Drs. Janice Glaser and Ronald Keikold Glaser, conducted with medical students, vividly illustrate this. They discovered that during periods of examination stress, when students experience intense mental and emotional tension, their immune system weakens. Their wounds heal more slowly. Antibody production after vaccination diminishes, and they become more susceptible to infections. This is direct proof that our mental state, stress, anxiety, or conversely, the tranquility and positive expectations induced by visualization, exerts a direct influence on our physiology and the body's capacity for self-healing. And assuredly, one must not overlook the phenomenon of the placebo, one of the most compelling proofs of the mind's power over matter. As early as 1955, Dr. Henry Beecher published groundbreaking research demonstrating that 30 to 60% of patients in clinical trials experience significant improvement in their condition while receiving an inert substance, a sugar pill, instead of actual medication. This is not merely an imagined improvement. The placebo can induce genuine physiological changes, such as pain reduction, activation of the brain's natural opioid systems, or even amelioration of serious ailments. If a simple belief that one is receiving medicine can activate potent self-healing processes within the organism, imagine the potential concealed within purposeful, systematic visualization of a desired state, be it health, success, or harmonious relations with a specific individual. The brain does not distinguish a vivid, living mental image from actual experience, and it initiates corresponding physiological and psychological reactions, preparing the ground for the manifestation of the desired in your reality. These scientific discoveries, though articulated in contemporary language, merely corroborate the intuitive insights humanity has possessed for millennia. Haanel's ideas concerning the creative power of thought, concerning the capacity of consciousness to shape reality, resonate profoundly with ancient philosophical and spiritual traditions that have always affirmed the primacy of the mind. Recall Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary sage of ancient Egypt, whose teachings, compiled in the Hermetic corpus, became a cornerstone of Western esoteric thought. In one of the pivotal texts, the Poemandres, or the Shepherd of Men, it is stated that the universe was created by the divine mind, or nous, which manifests itself through thought. The human mind, being a reflection of this divine mind, likewise possesses creative power. The principle, as above so below, as within so without, is not merely a metaphor, but a fundamental assertion concerning the interconnectedness between the macrocosm and the microcosm, between the divine and human consciousness. For Hermeticists, the act of mental creation, including visualization, was a means of participating in the cosmic process, of likening oneself to the Creator. By visualizing a person or a desired event, you are, according to these teachings, not merely dreaming, but actively shaping reality, utilizing the same creative energy as the universal mind. Buddha, who lived 2.5 millennia ago, likewise emphasized the fundamental role of the mind in shaping our experience. In the first verse of the Dhammapada, he states, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think we become. If a man speaks or acts with an impure mind, suffering follows him as the wheel follows the ox that draws the cart. If a man speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows him like a shadow that never leaves him." This profound aphorism directly indicates that our internal mental states, including our visualizations and intentions, are the seeds of our future experiences. A pure, focused mind, capable of creating vivid images, is the fount of well-being and harmony. The Indian philosophical tradition, particularly Yoga Vasistha, an extensive text comprising a dialogue between Prince Rama and the sage Vasistha, likewise profoundly explores the nature of consciousness and its creative capacities. Within it is asserted the concept of manas kalpana, or mental creation. According to Yoga Vasistha, the entire universe is a projection of cosmic consciousness, and individual consciousness creates its own world through imagination and thought. The reality we perceive as external is, in truth, an emanation of our own consciousness. The practice of intense visualization, of which Haanel speaks, perfectly aligns with this teaching. The mind is the ultimate creator of all experience, and by forming vivid mental images, we actively participate in this process of creation. In the mystical tradition of the Kabbalah, deeply rooted in Judaism, there is likewise present the idea that creation proceeds from an infinite, unknowable source, termed Ein Sof, through a sequence of 10 emanations, or Sefirot. These Sefirot represent the stages through which the divine manifests and shapes worlds. Human consciousness, particularly focused intention and visualization, is regarded as a means to connect with these divine energies and draw them into the manifest world. The act of forming a mental image, especially the image of a person, is a method of bringing abstract potential into concrete manifestation, mirroring the divine process of creation. This concerns drawing the light of potential into a specific form, imbuing it with life through your consciousness. Even the Stoics, philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome, though they did not practice visualization in the modern sense for the materialization of desires, devoted immense attention to mastery over the inner world. Thinkers such as Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius taught that the sole thing truly within our power is our thoughts, judgments, and reactions. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, penned, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." The Stoics exhorted the training of the mind, the control over internal representations, phantasias, to achieve tranquility and virtue. The capacity to hold in mind the living image of a person with absolute clarity and detail, as Haanel proposes, demands immense mental discipline and control over the inner landscape, which constitutes one of the central Stoic virtues. This is an exercise in cultivating inner freedom and mastery over one's own consciousness. And finally, in the tradition of Zen Buddhism, whose founder in the East is considered Bodhidharma, though the emphasis is placed upon direct apprehension of the true nature of consciousness through meditation zazen, without reliance upon concepts, nonetheless exceptional concentration and clarity of mind are required. Profound meditation directed toward attaining a state of pure awareness forms the foundation for cultivating the same intense mental focus requisite for vivid visualization. The capacity to hold an image with absolute clarity and presence is a form of highly developed mental attention, akin to meditative states, which enables consciousness to act with maximal efficacy. These ancient wisdoms, corroborated by modern science, do not remain merely theoretical constructs. They have found their practical application in the lives of many distinguished individuals who consciously or intuitively employed principles akin to those elucidated in the Master Key system to achieve extraordinary results. Their histories serve as vivid proof that the capacity for purposeful visualization and mental creation is not merely an esoteric concept, but a potent instrument for shaping one's own destiny. One such individual was Earl Nightingale, a man whose name became synonymous with personal development. In his youth, living amidst the Great Depression, Nightingale was captivated by the question, why do some individuals achieve success while others do not? He spent hours in libraries endeavoring to uncover the secret. Ultimately, he arrived at a simple yet profound conclusion: we become what we think about. In 1956, already a successful radio host and businessman, Nightingale recorded a brief address for his sales team entitled, "The Strangest Secret." In it, he elucidated that success is not the result of fortune or arduous labor divorced from purpose, but a direct consequence of an individual's dominant thoughts. He urged listeners to establish a clear, definite objective for themselves and to work towards it daily, continuously holding it within their consciousness. This recording became the first audio course in history to sell over 1 million copies, and it inaugurated an entire industry of personal development. Nightingale's The Strangest Secret is in essence an exhortation to purposeful mental visualization, to the formation of a clear image of a desired future, including the people and circumstances present within it. Another giant in the realm of personal success was Napoleon Hill. His story commenced with a fateful encounter with one of the wealthiest men of his era, Andrew Carnegie, in 1908. Carnegie, a sagacious industrialist, issued a challenge to the young journalist Hill to spend 20 years interviewing 500 of America's most successful individuals to unearth a universal philosophy of achievement. It was during the course of this 20-year investigation that Hill became acquainted with Charles Haanel's The Master Key System. Hill openly acknowledged Haanel's influence, designating his work as one of the pivotal sources of his own ideas. He even penned a letter to Haanel expressing admiration for his book. The culmination of Hill's years of labor was the legendary book Think and Grow Rich, published in 1937. Within it, Hill delineated 13 principles of success. Among them, desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, and, most crucially, imagination. Hill described imagination as the workshop of the mind, where plans and ideas are forged. His concept of the sixth sense is also intimately connected with intuition and the capacity for clear mental vision. Moreover, Hill himself practiced what he termed the invisible council. He mentally gathered around him the images of great minds of the past, such as Abraham Lincoln, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and Thomas Edison, and engaged in mental dialogues with them, posing questions and receiving answers. This was a direct and potent form of visualizing people and interacting with them, which aided him in structuring his thoughts and making decisions. In our present era, we witness the manifestation of these principles in the lives of such visionaries as Steve Jobs. Though Jobs may never have quoted Haanel directly, his approach to innovation and design was deeply rooted in the capacity for powerful mental visualization. In his renowned commencement address at Stanford University in 2005, he spoke of connecting the dots backward. He recounted how in his youth, after dropping out of Reed College, he attended calligraphy classes, perceiving no practical utility in it at the time. But 10 years later, when he was designing the first Macintosh, it was precisely this knowledge of typography and aesthetics that enabled the creation of a computer with beautiful fonts, distinguishing it from all others. Jobs was known for his capacity to see products prior to their physical existence. He did not merely visualize an object. He visualized the person utilizing that object, their emotional response, the seamless interaction. He could hold in his mind the holistic user experience, anticipating every detail, every movement, every reaction. This demanded an almost obsessive level of mental imagery, not merely of objects, but of a profound comprehension and visualization of human interaction with those objects. And assuredly, one cannot fail to mention Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in the world. Oprah openly acknowledges that Charles Haanel's The Master Key System was among the books that profoundly altered her life and aided her in attaining unprecedented success. She has repeatedly spoken of the power of gratitude, intention, and visualization in shaping her reality. When in 2006, she actively promoted Rhonda Byrne's film and book The Secret, she was in essence popularizing principles that were embedded in Haanel's work, albeit in a more simplified form. Oprah's entire career, from surmounting a difficult childhood to constructing a media empire, stands as a living testament to the power of creative visualization and focused intention. Her capacity to communicate with millions of people, to inspire them and lead them, largely emanates from her own ability to visualize a better future not only for herself but for her audience, effectively visualizing positive human interaction on a mass scale. These narratives, from ancient sages to modern visionaries, underscore one immutable truth. Our mind is not merely a passive recipient of information, but an active creator of reality. Haanel's lesson on visualizing people is not merely an exercise in concentration. It is a profound immersion into the latent mechanisms of consciousness that enable us not only to perceive the world, but to shape it, to influence it, and ultimately to master our own reality. When you cultivate your ability to hold the living, breathing image of a person, you cultivate your capacity to hold any desired reality, imparting form and life to it in the boundless workshop of your consciousness. These narratives, from ancient sages to modern visionaries, underscore one immutable truth. Our mind is not merely a passive recipient of information, but an active creator of reality. Haanel's lesson on visualizing people is not merely an exercise in concentration. It is a profound immersion into the latent mechanisms of consciousness that enable us not only to perceive the world, but to shape it, to influence it, and ultimately to master our own reality. When you cultivate your ability to hold the living, breathing image of a person, you cultivate your capacity to hold any desired reality, imparting form and life to it in the boundless workshop of your consciousness. The principle elucidated by Haanel at the dawn of the 20th century is not an esoteric curiosity lost to the dust of history. It permeates the very fabric of contemporary culture, manifesting in the most unexpected and seemingly secular domains. We observe it in sports, where world-class athletes employ mental rehearsal to hone their skills to perfection. Michael Jordan, a legend of basketball, was renowned for his ability to visualize every shot, every pass, every game situation long before they transpired on the court. He did not merely imagine success, he mentally rehearsed the entire process, including potential errors and methods for surmounting them. Kobe Bryant, his spiritual heir, elevated this practice to a fanatical degree, forging his renowned Mamba mentality, predicated upon continuous mental preparation and the visualization of victory. Dr. Charles Garfield, who worked with Olympic athletes, discovered that athletes who utilized visualization improved their performance by 20 to 30% compared to those who relied solely on physical training. Neurobiology today corroborates this. Studies such as those conducted by Dr. Norman Doidge, author of the 2007 book The Brain That Changes Itself, demonstrate that mental practice activates and strengthens the same neural pathways in the brain as physical action. The brain does not always differentiate actual experience from that which is vividly imagined, thus enabling us to train even in the absence of physical conditions. In the realm of business, this principle manifests in the capacity of visionaries to shape the future. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, is known for his strategy of working backward from the customer. He and his teams commenced by visualizing the ideal customer experience, meticulously imagining how an individual would interact with a product or service, what emotions they would experience, what needs would be satisfied. Only thereafter did they proceed to product development. This is not but a profound visualization of the human being within the context of their desires and reactions. Elon Musk, with his grandiose plans for colonizing Mars and creating self-driving automobiles, stands as a vivid exemplar of an individual who holds in their consciousness images of the future so luminous and convincing that they begin to attract the resources, talents, and technologies requisite for their actualization. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, employs his circle of competence, which encompasses a profound understanding not only of financial models but also of the individuals behind the business, their motivations, strategies, and long-term prospects. He visualizes not merely figures but also the human element which serves as the driving force of any enterprise. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, was a master of visualizing the user experience, the emotional nexus between a human being and technology. He did not merely create devices, he created sensations, anticipating how people would feel interacting with his products. His capacity to hold in mind a holistic, intuitively comprehensible image of a future product, even prior to its physical existence, is direct corroboration of the potency of visualization. Psychological theories likewise confirm the profound significance of mental images and the inner world. Carl Gustav Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, spoke of individuation, the process of becoming a whole person, which encompasses the integration of conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche. This process frequently relies upon working with archetypes and symbols, which are in essence potent mental images that shape our perception of self and the world. Jung believed that our inner world, our images and symbols, are projected onto external reality, and by altering internal images we transform our reality. Abraham Maslow, the American psychologist, described peak experiences, moments of profound happiness, meaning, and connection, when an individual feels themselves at the zenith of their capabilities. These experiences are often accompanied by extraordinary clarity of perception, intense concentration, and a sensation of unity which closely resembles the state of profound, vivid visualization. Self-actualization, the highest need in his hierarchy, represents a constant striving for the realization of one's potential, for the embodiment of an idealized image of self that one holds within one's consciousness. Daniel Kahneman, Nobel laureate in economics, in his 2011 work, Thinking Fast and Slow, divided thought into two systems: System 1, fast, intuitive, emotional, and System 2, slow, logical, deliberative. System 1 largely operates with mental models, images, and associations. The more distinct and refined these internal images are, the more efficiently and rapidly System 1 can process information and make decisions. Visualization, therefore, is not merely daydreaming but a training of System 1, rendering it more potent and precise. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, the Hungarian-American psychologist, introduced the concept of flow, a state of complete immersion in an activity wherein an individual experiences profound enjoyment and high efficacy. The state of flow is often attained when one possesses a clear objective, immediate feedback, and an adequate challenge, and it is inextricably linked with a clear mental representation of the desired outcome and the pathways to its achievement. This is an active form of visualization where action and image merge into one. Ancient teachings predating Haanel by millennia likewise pointed to this power. Hermeticism, an ancient esoteric tradition, proclaimed, "As above, so below, as within, so without." This principle underscores the connection between one's inner world and outer reality. Buddhist meditation practices, especially the visualization of deities or mandalas, are aimed at the transformation of consciousness and the attainment of enlightenment through the creation and retention of complex mental images. The Stoics, ancient Greek philosophers, practiced premeditation of evils, mentally rehearsing worst-case scenarios to prepare for them and cultivate inner equanimity. This too is a form of visualization, but directed toward cultivating resilience. In the Jewish Kabbalah, a mystical tradition, the visualization of the Sefirot, 10 emanations of God, is employed to comprehend the structure of creation and one's own place within it. The Indian Yoga Vasista, one of the most ancient texts on yoga, posits that the entire world is the result of mental projection, and by altering mental images one can alter reality. All these traditions, each in its own manner, attest to one truth: the mind is not merely a mirror of reality but its architect. However, like any potent instrument, the principle of visualization and mental influence carries potential hazards if applied without due understanding and wisdom. One of the most prevalent pitfalls is the so-called naive positivism or magical thinking. This is the conviction that it suffices merely to think positively or visualize success for the desired outcome to materialize of its own accord, without any effort, action, or confrontation with reality. Such an approach disregards the fundamental laws of cause and effect, transforming a powerful instrument of inner transformation into a passive anticipation of a miracle. One may fall into the snare of reality denial when employing visualization to evade confronting difficult truths, problems, or negative emotions. Instead of constructively addressing issues, one might attempt to visualize their disappearance, which leads to an evasion of responsibility and the accumulation of unresolved conflicts. Another peril is toxic spirituality or spiritual bypass. This occurs when individuals utilize spiritual practices, including visualization, to circumvent or suppress uncomfortable emotions, traumas, or personal issues, rather than processing them. For instance, instead of confronting grief or anger, one might endeavor to visualize oneself as happy and serene, thereby creating an illusion of well-being that lacks genuine emotional processing. This can lead to emotional immaturity and an inability to contend with life's vicissitudes. There also exists the risk of employing this principle for manipulation or unethical ends. Should an individual develop the capacity to hold the vivid image of another person, their reactions and emotions, they could in theory utilize this to influence others for their own selfish interests. Haanel, like many other teachers, underscored the importance of ethical principles and working for the benefit of all. Without this internal compass, the potency of consciousness may be directed toward destruction or exploitation, which ultimately always redounds to negative consequences for the instigator themselves. Finally, an excessive preoccupation with mental images, devoid of grounding in reality, can lead to a loss of contact with the surrounding world, to idealization and unrealistic expectations. Visualization is an instrument for shaping reality, not for detachment from it. It must be complemented by action, critical thought, and the capacity to adapt to shifting circumstances. True mastery lies not in disregarding reality, but in influencing it, comprehending its laws and limitations, and employing inner power to effect constructive changes. Now that we have apprehended the profundity and potential pitfalls of this principle, let us proceed to the specific steps that will enable you to integrate this knowledge into your daily life. The ensuing 7 practices, designed for a 30-day cycle, will aid you in cultivating your capacity for visualization, concentration, and ultimately for mastery over your own reality. Remember, the key to success lies in consistency and discipline. Practice 1. The silence and meditation. What to do? Daily. Find a tranquil place where none will disturb you. Seat yourself in a comfortable posture. Close your eyes. Concentrate upon your breath, sensing the air as it enters and departs your body. When thoughts arise, merely observe them without attachment or judgment, permitting them to depart as clouds across the sky. Your objective is to establish a space of inner stillness. How many minutes per day? Commence with 10 minutes daily and gradually extend to 15 to 20 minutes. By what day to begin sensing effect? Day 3 to 5. You will commence to discern fleeting moments of clarity and tranquility, a diminution of internal dialogue. Day 10 to 14. A sensation of more profound inner peace will emerge, and concentration in daily affairs will enhance. Day 21 and beyond. You will be able to attain a state of deep meditation more swiftly. You will perceive a sustained reduction in stress and an augmentation of awareness. Practice 2. Visualization of a person. Per Haanel What to do? In addition to the practice of the silence, select one friend or close acquaintance whom you know intimately. Seat yourself in the silence and begin to construct their mental image. Commence with the face, features, expressions, ocular gaze. Then proceed to their attire, posture, bearing. Endeavor to perceive them with maximal vividness, as though they were directly before you. Thereafter, mentally begin to converse with them. Observe them smiling, responding, moving, altering their posture. Your objective is to achieve such lifelike vividness of the image that it appears almost real. How many minutes per day? 10 to 15 minutes, immediately following meditation. By what day to begin sensing effect? Day 7 to 10. The images will become more distinct. You will be able to sustain them longer without distraction. Day 15 to 20. A sensation of the visualized person's presence will emerge. Their reactions will appear more natural and spontaneous. Day 25 and beyond. You will be able to readily create and sustain complex dynamic scenes involving individuals, and to transition between various images. Practice 3. Affirmation. What to do? Select one positive affirmation formulated in the present tense and reflecting your desired state or quality. For instance, I am imbued with energy and resolve, or I effortlessly and effectively attain my objectives. Recite it aloud or silently, inhaling and exhaling deeply. It is crucial not merely to utter the words, but to feel the emotion underlying them, visualizing yourself as already possessing this quality. How many minutes per day? 5 to 10 minutes each morning and evening. By what day to begin sensing effect? Day 5 to 7. You will discern subtle alterations in mood and internal dialogue, a diminution of self-criticism. Day 14 to 21. Your belief in the affirmation will strengthen. You will commence to act in accordance with it, and it will become an intrinsic part of your self-perception. Day 28 and beyond. Positive thoughts will become automatic. The affirmation will operate at the subconscious level, shaping your reality. Asterisk, asterisk, practice 4. Journaling asterisk, 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 asterisk. What to do daily. Allocate time to record your thoughts, feelings, insights, but most importantly, record your goals and desired outcomes as though they have already been achieved. Describe them in detail, engaging all 5 senses. For instance, if you desire a new position, describe how you feel in the new office, what sounds you hear, what people surround you, what tasks you are accomplishing. Also record your gratitudes, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. How many minutes per day? 10 to 15 minutes. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. By what day to begin sensing effect? Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 7 to 10. Self-awareness will augment. You will commence to notice recurring patterns of thoughts and emotions. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 15 to 20. Your objectives will become more distinct and concrete. You will begin to perceive the pathways to their attainment. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 25 and beyond. A sensation of progress and certitude will emerge that the desired is manifesting in your life. Asterisk, asterisk, practice 5. Gratitude. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. What to do. Each day, in the morning or evening, compile a list of 3 to 5 things for which you are genuinely grateful. These may be grand occurrences or minor details. A cup of coffee, a sunlit day, a conversation with a friend. Feel this gratitude with your entire being. Visualize the people or circumstances that evoked these sentiments. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. How many minutes per day? 5 to 10 minutes. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. By what day to begin sensing effect? Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. By what day to begin sensing effect? Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 3 to 5. Your general disposition will improve. You will commence to notice more positive moments throughout the day. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 10 to 14. Your perspective will shift. You will become less prone to negative ideation. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 21 and beyond. You will experience a sustained positive emotional state, attracting into your life even more reasons for gratitude. Asterisk, asterisk, practice 6, mental rehearsal for specific objectives. Asterisk, 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 what to do. Select one specific objective or upcoming event, for instance, an important meeting, a public address, a challenging conversation. Seat yourself in the silence and mentally enact the entire scenario from inception to conclusion. Perceive yourself executing the task with utmost proficiency, surmounting potential difficulties, attaining the desired outcome. Feel the confidence, tranquility, success. Engage all sensory faculties. What you see, hear, feel. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. How many minutes per day? 10 to 20 minutes. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. By what day to begin sensing effect? Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 5 to 7. You will perceive a significant augmentation of self-assurance prior to the impending event. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 10 to 14. Your productivity and capacity for adaptation in real-world situations will enhance. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 20 and beyond. You will be able to effectively contend with unforeseen circumstances, for your brain will have already rehearsed numerous eventualities. Asterisk, asterisk, practice 7, shifting focus. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. What to do. Throughout the day, when you perceive your thoughts gravitating towards negativity, anxiety, or self-criticism, consciously redirect your focus. You may employ an anchor. Take 3 deep breaths, silently utter your affirmation, or vividly visualize your desired outcome or the image of the person you are cultivating to see. It is vital not to suppress negativity, but gently yet persistently to direct your attention toward more constructive thoughts and images. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. How many minutes per day? As required, from 1 to 2 minutes each instance. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. By what day to begin sensing effect? Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 7 to 10. You will commence to recuperate more swiftly from negative thoughts and emotions. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 15 to 20. Your emotional resilience will augment. You will be less swayed by external stimuli. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Day 25 and beyond. You will gain proactive command over your mental state. You will be able consciously to select your focal point. These 7 practices, executed with discipline and intention, will serve as your guides into a world where your mind is not merely a mirror of reality, but its architect. They will enable you not only to comprehend, but to experience firsthand the truth Charles Haanel unveiled in his 6th lesson. The capacity to hold the living image of a person is the key to the capacity to hold any desired reality. Ultimately, all these lessons converge upon one fundamental truth. Your mind is not merely a recipient of information, but an active creator. You do not merely observe the world, you participate in its creation. And the more profoundly you comprehend and apply this truth, the more conscious and potent your influence over your own life becomes. As you master the art of visualization, from simple locales to intricate living images of people, you prepare yourself for the next stage. The Master Key system does not conclude with individual consciousness. It expands your comprehension to the universal laws that govern not only your inner world, but the entire universe. In the subsequent lesson, we shall delve into the principles that enable your individual mind to interact with the universal mind, unlocking the portals to boundless possibilities and an understanding of how thought, when rightly directed, can influence the very fabric of existence. Envision the vastness of the cosmos, where each star is a consciousness radiating its light and shaping its orbit. Your mind is one such star, capable not merely of shining but of attracting, organizing, creating its own galaxy of reality. The journey has but commenced, and the key to this boundless potential resides within your grasp.